Hey guys, Harry here, and we're back with another Bricklaying vlog today. The footage you're going to see now is basically after last video. So last video I built that big pillar corner, as you can see here, and racked it all the way up to the top. I think I got like 12 course on it, 12 or 14 course maybe. I can't quite remember how high I went, because I know I had to build another 8 course corner afterwards. That would mean, yeah, I built it 14 course and then 8 is 22. I got 22 high on this wall. So I'm just running in with some pick and dip, using the fixed brick and profile setup. I've not actually shown this profile setup before on the channel. It's just basically me using a bit of timber. So it basically simulates a timber clamp setup, but I don't have a BT timber clamp. I'd love to get one, but I know a lot of their stuff's quite dear, and I've already spent enough money on like bricklaying equipment recently. I've bought some new levels, I bought jointers, trowels, I've bought all sorts of stuff recently. Work gear, I actually bought high-vis t-shirts and stuff, and polo shirts. So I'm not going to spend anything else yet. Probably the next thing I buy will be another one of these trowels, because I love these Tyzac 10-inch broad heel trowels. This is the soft feel Durasoft style handle. That's all it is. It's a Tyzac. Obviously when you first get it, it comes with Tyzac printed straight on the blade, and that wears off within like a day. So a lot of guys don't realise what trowel it is. For any people wondering, that's the same trowel I started the channel off with, and it's probably what it's most famous for on YouTube, is that Charlie Collison uses it a lot of the time. That's basically what you see a lot of his older videos, which I'm a fan of. His newer stuff, I'm not as much of a fan of now, but his older stuff was, one of the reasons I got into YouTube bricklaying. And like I said, Rodin Builds one of my favourite guys when it comes to YouTube content. Let me see who else I like a lot. Stephen Alex bricklaying, father and son, good videos. A lot of remedial work really. I'd like to see him on site more, but he doesn't like it, and to be quite honest to him, when I'm his age, I don't think I'll be on sites either, depending on the prices. Obviously money dictates what sort of work you do as you get older. And I like the Tricky Bricky, he's awesome. Really, a really work to live kind of guy, really, positive, doesn't moan, just happy to be there. And that's basically all you can, if you're just like that every day and you're as happy as he is, Jesus Christ, it's absolutely great. I saw another bricklaying guy on YouTube. He's a bit like, he's called the Hippie Bricky, and it's called something Gash. I remember the word Gash, but something Gash, I forgot his name. I've just watched him, but he's got dreadlocks and he has 4 tattoos, tool belt, the fucking works. It's like a mini Collinson. But yeah, so doing some pick and dip today. First course. See if you're looking from the top, joints will look empty, but obviously from the side they're full. Sometimes I don't get them full every course. Sometimes there's like when I'm tightening up, perps don't feel very well. And when you're looking from the top, even if you lay traditional, sometimes they look empty as well. So it can be a bit deceiving on the camera. People call me rough. People say whatever, but fuck them. I'm lightweighting it. I like laying them like this. It's dead easy. This is the footage you saw from the music video posted a couple of days ago with just me doing the pick and dip, but I only recorded like 4 or 5 course on that video, and I cut out all the extra bits, me moving the line up and stuff. So in this is the raw footage. I think I've run about 10 course in on this video, and the footage is 30 minutes long. So 10 course, I think the average amount of bricks that was in it was like 10 or 11, maybe 12 per course. So 120 bricks in 30 minutes. You do the math. It's pretty, it's a pretty good rate of going. Obviously, if we all had super straight runs every day, if we had like 30, 40, 50 brick runs, you know, profiles on, square boxes, we'd all be earning fucking mega money. But, you know, it doesn't always work out like that. You know, this is the only day I really got on price. I did some finishing off on the Tuesday, rained off on the Monday, Wednesday a bit of remedials, and then got, you know, had an hour setting this up, and then this is the first day I got on price. But I'm pretty relieved, to be fair, because I've got a good 2 days work with the new labourer slash Hoddy. He's all, you know, lined up. I've given him a ring. Gave him a ring on Thursday. He's all set up. He's got all his CSCS cards and stuff. He's ready for starting on Monday. He lives actually very close to where I live, so I might end up sharing lifts. We might end up, you know, saving each other some money on petrol. But the only reason is what I'm going to get into in the topic today. Sorry if you guys can hear any sound. It's my air purifier, but I'm going to turn that off. Actually, no, I'm going to leave it on because it sounds awesome. But the topic for today is going to be talking about one-on-one strategies. You know, I've worked one-on-one best part of 5 or 6 years. I've been on the trowel 11 years. I did 3 years at college, and then I did a 3-year apprenticeship. Sorry, it's classed as like an 8. You know, it's like 2. Yeah, a 2.5 year apprenticeship. It's classed as. So that's like 5.5. And then obviously I've been on the trowel on price. I've been on sites, obviously out of my time for like 6.5, 7 years now. And I've been one-on-one for 5 of those years. So I worked in a gang for a year when I was first out my time with the bloke who I worked with majority of the time in my apprenticeship. And then I worked like that for a year, and I did like half a year with one of my best mates. Then he got out of it for a while on houses because he was sick. His back was going all the time. And then after that, I've been one-on-one ever since. Really, I've had little stints. I've had like a couple of weeks here and there with a gang, just, you know, fitting in. But then I've just always gone back on my own. Really, worked with a couple of lads. You know, been skanked by a couple of lads, you know, fucking, you know, they are arseholes. But, you know, then I worked on my own, and I've worked on my own ever since. One-on-one, just, you know, got a labourer, pay my set wage every day. You know, it don't matter if I lay 500 bricks, it don't matter if I lay 600 bricks or 200 bricks. You know, they're getting the same wage every day. Obviously, you have a risk that some days you might not make your money. You have to pay a labourer's wage. You got to pay a labourer's wage, whether that's 100, 120, 150, depending on how big your gang is. 80 if, you know, they've never done it before, or they're a rank novice. You know, I firmly believe £10 an hour or more is ideal. It is, you know, is the minimum you should be paying a labourer. I think labouring jobs now are anywhere from £10 onwards now, with no experience. And if you're a good hog carrier, you know, that can go to, you know, £15, £16 an hour. So if you're doing 10 hours in a day, you're getting like 160 as an oddie. That requires, you know, to be in a big gang. You know, I always believe the hog carrier's money is reflected on the size of the gang. If you can keep 3 bricklayers going, there's no reason why each bricklayer can't pay that oddie 60 quid a day, you know, or 50 quid a day each out of the money. So, you know, 3 bricklayers going at it, it's like 150 a day for a oddie. But, you know, if like it'll be only one bricklayer that my hod carrier will be looking after. That'll be me. So he's getting a pretty good deal actually for just looking after one bloke. So I got a lot of you know, applications for the job when I posted it on Facebook Jobs, because I found that's the best place to find you know, good workers. I've had a few mates work for me before. One lad, you know, I really got on with, but he didn't really like doing it, and he ended up doing something more he liked. And then I had another lad who before, and dead ungrateful. Not the sort of lad you'd want working with you. So, but this will be my first time having a labourer that I don't really know, to be fair. I've known basically all of them in one way or another, but not very. Well, second time I've had a labourer I don't know really. But this time I'm a lot faster, dead organised. I'm paying them a better wages than I think I've paid any labourer, really. I think better wage overall. I think, I don't do any sort of splits. That's one thing that people say, oh, you want to get them on a split, so you're always making your wage, no matter what you earn. And the problem with splits is greed comes into it. If you offer someone a 60-40 split or something like that, first of all, that's probably too much for an inexperienced Oddie, and it gets to the point where you might earn a good wage, but they might not. One week, it might get to the point where you're, earning, a decent wage, or you're getting rained off a lot, and you're not getting a lot done, but you're still there 8-9 hours, and then your labourer's money is a pittance with the split comparison, and it can lead to getting a bit stressed out. It puts a lot of stress on the labourer, because you're basically saying, hold on a minute, you're on price as well, just like I am. Whereas if you pay them a set wage every day, they know they're coming to work, they know they're going to get a wage. If you get rained off at dinner time, half a day, if you turn up and you can't get anything done, it is what it is. They've got to go home, and there's no wage. That's where sharing cars can help. You can if you're nice and well inclined, you can say, I don't worry about petrol. I'll take you home. Yeah, see you tomorrow, sort of thing. If you're that way inclined. I've been known to be too soft over the years, and it's something that it's just my disposition. Sometimes you just can't help being nice, like myself. I've got a conscience. I couldn't do this sacking labourers every other month, getting rid of people every other month. It's someone's livelihood, isn't it? Your job's your livelihood. Getting a wage is important for your family. There's guys who've been ringing me up for this job, saying I've got kids, etc, etc. You know what I mean? It is like a guilt trip card people play, but it is one of them things. It fucking works on soft fuckers like me, and you feel inclined to fucking give them a fair shake. So anyway, comes to one-on-one strategies. Let's talk about covering your money, covering the wages. It's one thing that people undersell, actually. This is why a lot of people refuse to work one-on-one, because it is a daunting task. You've got to make a labourer's money before your own. So say you're paying a labourer £100 a day. I think that's a fair, not like a professional odd carrier or a seasoned odd carrier, but like a labourer who's just fetching and carrying. Gobbo bricks, that's it. Say price of bricks, let's say although this is a bit dated now, where everyone's getting like 550, 600, 650 a thou these days, but say you're getting 500, 1,000, you're on a bit of a bottom end job, you've got to lay 200 bricks there before you've made the labourers £100 a day, and can be daunting. That means, say you want to earn £200 a day, say you want to earn like a day work rate, and you've got to basically lay 400 bricks to earn your 200, and you've got to lay 200 extra bricks to pay your labourer. Normally that shouldn't be an issue for any bricklayers who are decently fast and have the right work in front of them. You normally can, if you brim a tub, you can get 300 or 400 bricks laid out of a full tub, and if you're using 2 tubs a day, you're looking at 700 to 800 bricks, depending on how full you get your tub. As you can see at the beginning of last video, you can see how full I make my tubs. That's every tub I get's like that, unless I know that I'm not going to use it. Whereas like if I'm topping walls off and stuff, I'll not use a brimmer. So 2 brimmers should be laying 800 bricks. If you haven't got to lift any of that mortar, if you haven't got to lift any bricks, it's doable to lay 700-800 bricks, and that's 500 bricks for yourself, and then 200 bricks goes towards paying the odd carrier. And it's a daunting task. Some days you're not going to do it. Some days you're going to be earning £200 a day, 150. If you're on shit work. But this is there's a tactic where you can mitigate this issue. So first of all, you ideally want separate transport for this reason. This is why the lad I've got has his own car, etc. Separate transport gives you a lot of options. It allows the labourer to get there before you if he wants to get bumping out in front, or if he wants to, you know, say your working hours 8 o'clock while R4. You know, a lot of sites can't start till 8, and a lot of sites are packing up at R4. So 8 o'clock while R4, that is 7.5 hours, and then it's 9 while 5, 8 while 4 is 9 hours. 8 while 4 is 8 hours, 8.5 hours. So say you're working on an 8-hour day, hour for snap. Say you're paying someone an hourly rate. This is how I advertise my job. Hourly rate, £12 an hour gives you 8 hours at, £12 an hour is £100. Say you want your labourer starting half an hour earlier. This is a big point of, making money. Fucking car alarm. So if, you can get it sorted with your labourer to where they get half an hour before you, get a tub in, get there, start setting the boards up and stuff. That means you can roll up at 7:45. Hopefully, if your forklift driver starts early enough, he can be dropping a tub off just as you arrive, or as you're walking over to the job, he can be dropping your tub. The motorboards can be set up, filled, and you can get laying at 8 o'clock. And that way, when you're working on a morning, you're instantly producing. It's more efficient to get there straight away, pull your trowel out of the box and start laying. You haven't got, the issue that I come to a lot working solo or with the old man, is where we turn up and nothing's set up, nothing's ready, motor isn't there. I've had to put the tub in, I'm losing half an hour there. And as you can see, half an hour in this video, there's 100 bricks easily laid in half an hour. And 100 bricks is, that's half your labourer's wage there just in the first, that's just in your first half an hour of turning up to site. Obviously if you're building corners, not going to be laying as many, but you saw me build that pillar up 10 course, 10, 12 course, that's like 80, that's like 100 bricks there in 45 minutes I laid freehand. So, that first half an hour, 45 minutes can be crucial. It's something I've neglected with the old man, obviously, his situation, he were driving and stuff, giving him a bit of a job for a few years and, just seeing him through. Obviously, I was getting my speed back, obviously, after being solo for a while, getting speed back again. But yeah, that first 45 minutes is crucial. You want to get at least 100 bricks down in your first 45 minutes. It's not always possible, but you want to get your money in for your labourer. You want to get it in the first hour or two, and then the rest of the day, you can work into your stride. Obviously, you don't want to be picking mortar up. You want to be just getting your bricks exactly where you want them, mortar exactly where you want it. If you've got to move your own mortarboards, yeah, fair enough. Set everything where you want it. Make it easier for your labourer, and keep going. So that's one way to mitigate, the issue of not being able to make a wage. And then even if something's happened, you're losing time with rain, or you've lost time with not getting your lifts and stuff, you want to explain to your labourer, that we're going to struggle because we're not getting lifts, or we're not working this and that. And some lads, they might say, oh, all right mate, no worries, if I'm getting paid by the hour and we're having a bit of downtime, fair enough. But a lot of the time, if you're that way inclined, no matter if you're getting lifts or not, you've got to pay him for a day. It's just the way it is having a labourer. You're going to keep everyone happy. If you start docking people hours, just pisses people off. And fucking hell, I would be. If I was in the labourer situation, I'd be pissed off. So, there is that method, there is that way of doing things if you're not working docking hours, but you don't want to be doing that. It just pisses people off. And then the other method is putting a bit of overtime. It might not happen. You might happen one day a week where you've got to do it, and this might be the difference between getting stressed out, or taking it out on your labourer that if they're not getting your gear quick enough, or you're not getting everything you want, or you're not getting on the right piece of work. Say to your labourer, if everything ain't going well one day, and you're just not getting your gear, or you're on a bit of a shit drop, and you've been getting rained on, cut the day short. Say to your labourer, right, we're gonna have half a day today. It's not going well. You know, you get your sent off. This is another perk of having your own transport. You know, we're gonna get off. We're cutting it short. It's raining. It's drizzling over. You know, we're gonna have half a day today. It's 11:30. You know, 12 o'clock. Get off. And you know, you could cut your losses. You can go home yourself. Or if you're really, really inclined, I've never done this before myself, but if you're really, really inclined, you can stick around, try and get a couple hours in at the back end of the day, 3-4 o'clock, you know, get a couple hours in, maybe even work to 5. It's something you have to sometimes do in winter, you know, stick around, try and get something in. And that can mitigate, you know, you're only paying half a day's wage to the labourer. You know, your labourer ain't getting piss wet through, he's not getting fucking annoyed, you know. Obviously, half a day's wage is half a day's wage, but he's got on for 12 o'clock, he's happy. You know, that is another way to mitigate, you know, not covering the money, you know, if you're struggling. And then, you know, if the work is just shit and, you know, you've been working all day, labourer's been working, loading out in front, but you just haven't got the bricks down, you're you're in front of an house that's got a few dog legs in or an awkward pillar, or you're squaring something up to wall plate and it's all commons and fucking cutting your blocks of your lintels and everything ain't working right, you know, just put an extra few hours in. You know, labourer finishes 4 o'clock, 4:30, whatever. You work well 6, especially in winter, when there is only so much daylight. You know, you might only be able to get till 6 till it's dark, or summer as well. If you're struggling, you know, whatever you're struggling, whatever you're struggling to earn money, it can be the job's problem or it can be just circumstance. And on a Friday, you know, if for instance, say, odd carrier's got to leave early, whatever reason, or it's a Friday and you've been struggling all week and you really want to make do, you know, 3 o'clock, 3:30, say, right, it's Friday, get your sent off, bump all the gear out, all the gear we go out, you know, get all your gob out, then you carry on, work well fucking 6, do what you got to do, but, you know, don't make it stressful for the person who it's not their responsibility. You know, if the gear's there and the bricks are there and you're just not laying them quick enough, it's not their fault, it's your fault. So this is the downside of being one-on-one. You sometimes got to put in extra work. You know, put in extra work to get a good week in. You know what I mean? I've had to do it myself. There's been days I've been working with the old man, which we ain't been getting out fucking done for the first couple of days, where I've been on shit drops, topping boundary walls off, shit like that. And then, you know, it's and then I've had to really pull it out the bag Thursday, Friday to get a wage in. Like, for instance, this week, I earned 40% of my money on this day, on the Thursday, because we're on day works and doing little bits of shit. You know, if I'd have worked all day Friday like I'd have planned, I'd have had a really good week. You know, a good week. You know, not really good. I'd have lost a day, but I'd have had a good week. You know, sometimes you got to pull it out of the bag on Thursday, Friday. You know, sometimes you got to, you know, turn it around. The old saying, you can't make a good week out of a bad one, it's a load of bollocks. You can if you're on your own. If you're on your own, one-on-one, you can do it. You can make a good week out of a bad week. Since I've been working one-on-one, I've never really had a bad week. I've had a bad week probably twice when we had torrential snow and downpours. But back when it was really, really snowy in January and everyone had like 2 weeks off, I was still working. I was altering a show house. I was doing remedials. You know, I was getting the shift in, getting some shifts in anyway. So, you know, you've got to make the most of it. Another strategy you can use for covering wages one-on-one, making sure you're earning, you know, a good wage every day. It's something that I think I've used this technique before. You know, some lads, you know, might have a problem with it, might not. You know, you want to get all these issues ironed out in the first week working with them. You know, if you know you're going onto a drop that ain't got enough work to cover both wages, you're going to have to say, right, you're going to either have to have a word with the person you're working for, either the subby or, you know, if you're working direct, say, this ain't got enough, you know, this drop ain't got enough bricks in, or ain't got enough work in to cover his day's wage, we need something else to drop on. Or you can say,
oddie have a day off. Most lads, depending on how desperate they are, if they've got kids, families, big mortgages or whatever, if there is, for instance, not enough work one day to cover your money, you can either say to your labourer, have tomorrow off, mate, we're scratting a bit, we'll be flat out Monday, and basically, make them have a day off. That is an option. It's not nice to say to people to tell them to stay at home, but if there ain't enough work, there ain't enough work. Or you can tell them if you want to come in for half a day, we've only got half a day's really worth of work, and if you want to plough through it and finish it and have a half a day yourself, you're mitigating your time there. You're cutting your losses and you're finishing early. So that's one thing you can do. Obviously, if you've had a steamer through the week and you've worked 4 days solid, Monday to Thursday, been absolutely smashing it in, 1,000 bricks a day, all that jargon, you've been absolutely killing it, have half a day Friday, recover. But it's sometimes things you've got to do. It's not nice to have to strategize your work. Either I make your labourers have days off. It's not nice for them, but obviously a lot of lads won't have a problem with it. They've got to realise they are self-employed. They are, they can only work when the work's available. You've got to basically highlight that to them as well. You've got to basically have a word with them and say, there'll be some days, mate, we're just going to turn up, there'll be no mortar. You're going to turn up, there won't be the work ready for us. You might have to go home. But, you've got to let them know that there always is going to be work. It's just going to be sometimes intermittent at some times of the year. They've got to realise that with weather, obviously if you're going to get rained off for days, they've got to realise that, you ain't got to paint it up to sound amazing. You've just got to be honest. And that's the biggest way you're gonna make money one-on-one, is you're gonna have to keep it stress free for the labourer, organise well. Don't be stressing about covering wages. Just work as you would normally. And if you're making your money solo, you're gonna make money with a labourer. Like myself, I've worked solo multiple times this week. I've worked solo multiple times in the last 6 months, and every day solo, I've been laying 600-700 bricks. Sometimes 500 if I've had a steady one, but a lot of the time I've been laying a minimum of 600 bricks, and then you've got to think, you take a labourer's wage off that. Are you going to be making money? Yes. So if you can do it on your own, you can do it with a labourer, and if the labourer is good, you're going to be laying more bricks than you would solo. Without a doubt, you've got to be laying more bricks than you would solo, because all the time you'd be spending loading out, half an hour here, half an hour there, getting muck, gobbo, whatever you want to call it. You're going to be laying for them times. You don't want to be putting your trowel down. You want to be, constantly sliding them bricks in, sliding them in, picking them, dipping them, fucking tipping them, tapping them, whichever you want to do it, Yeah, that's the video, that's my one-on-one, how to, run a one-on-one gang effectively. There's things I want to talk about more when it comes to loading out in front, how much to load out in front as a one-on-one, how to handle remedials and day works. Luckily, who I work with, what I'm paying this labourer is very similar to what I was paying my dad. So, we ain't got a problem when it comes to remedials and stuff. If I've got to do them, my rates are still the same. I'm probably slightly worse off with this new lad because I'll be paying him a bit more, because hopefully he'll be doing a faster job. So when it comes to remedials and stuff, everything's going to stay the same there. If I've got to do them, we'll get paid at the end of the day. But, because we're starting earlier, we're going to be leaving a bit earlier as well. I don't want to be working any longer than 4:30. I'll be only doing 5:30 days now and again if I've got to cover wages. But that's hopefully why I'm going to keep the oddie having his own transport. If this one don't work out and I've got to get another lad, own transport's going to be a must really, because it's going to benefit them more than it is me. Because obviously, they're going to be able to they're not going to have to be working to my schedule. They can just do their hours and go home. If they can do 7:30, well, 4:30, that's 8 hours. 4 is 8 hours. 7:30, well, 4 is 9 hours. So that's with the snap. Obviously you're not getting paid for not working. So if you have an hour snap, or even if they want to have half an hour snaff and do 8 well, 8 well 4:30, it's or even if they can have an early in some days and want to get off earlier, it's if we've covered his wages and everything's gone smoothly, they can easily get off early with their own transport. Whereas if you've got someone you're having to pick up, you're taking time away, going to pick them up and stuff like that, and you just rather be on the trowel. So yeah, anyway guys, that is the video. I'm going to put a little bit of music on for the last little bit of this video. That was what I wanted to talk about, covering wages, one-on-one strategies. I'm going to make this video one-on-one strategies part 1. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a bricklaying vlog, but be one-on-one strategies. I'm going to make another part to this. Obviously, when it comes to 2-on-1 strategies, don't really have experience working as a 2-on-1. I've worked in an odd few gangs as an improver, as I was coming up the ranks as a journeyman to a full-fledged bricklayer, but I've not had a lot of experience working in bigger gangs. I wouldn't know how to manage multiple bricklayers. I could only manage really a labourer and maybe have an apprentice, but obviously an apprentice comes at a very reduced cost, obviously, because you're teaching them, not working them. So that's basically my advice anyway, because I've got quite a lot of years of experience as a one-on-one, and as an effective one-on-one as well. I've earned some good money really. Probably not really higher than average. Probably what I've earned is probably what a lot of gangs earn. Do you know what I mean? I'm not fucking something special like a lot of guys on YouTube try and make out that their gang's earning fucking super money. I know how much time we lose, and it's bricklaying at the end of the day. You're not a stockbroker. So anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the pick and dip footage, and we're coming to the end of the video anyway, so I will see you guys tomorrow with another video. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Peace out.